So today our patient is a 35-year-old male weekend warrior, which means that he is primarily inactive throughout the week and highly active on the weekend. He is a slow pitch softball player, and he has shoulder impingement in his throwing arm. Assuming he is a field player where he is mainly using overhand mechanics, we can also assume that he possibly pitches, which is primarily underhand. He is an architect working on a project right now, which probably insinuates that he has less time to work out throughout the week, making his probability for injury possibly going up. We were going to be focusing mainly on phase 3 of the rehab program, which we'll be focusing on proprioception. More broken down, we'll be looking at balance, coordination, and agility. We'll be showing the Y balance, some ladder drills you could do with shoulder, the classic timeless shoulder exercise, wall dotties, and we can also use a throwing mechanic exercise where we'll be focusing on the eccentric muscles of the shoulder complex.
So for our balance test for our patient, we are going to be doing the Y balance test. To begin the exercise, you're going to have your patient in a plank position. So patient in a plank position. Before you begin, you want to make sure that he has proper shoulder placement. You want to make sure that the traps aren't elevated, that everything's in place. You want to make sure that the core is engaged and that the spine is neutral, so he's not using other muscles during the exercise. Because our patient does have right shoulder impingement, his right arm will be the arm that is bouncing on the board, and we're going to use his left arm to move the blocks to obtain measurements. So to begin, I'm going to have the patient place his right hand closer to the middle, right there, and again restabilize. And you're going to start on the pushing out. So I'm going to have you move the block out as far as you can go while keeping good. And you want to make sure that they leave the block out there so you can obtain measurements for the distance later. And then after they go out, I'm going to have you with your left hand move the block up and out as far as you can go. Good. And then you're going to come under your right hand with your left and go down and across as far as you can go. And then after the patient is done, you can obtain your measurements and retest later. A modification for the Y balance test: if your patient is unable to complete it, if it's a little too hard for him to do it in a plank position, I can first have my patient do it on his knees and complete the same motions. Good. And then if this is too easy and the normal is too easy as well, we can progress it with their feet up. You can have it on this pose suit like we're about to do. And he can complete it again just to challenge his balance a little bit more. And you can use other things, like you can put him up on a step or any type of ball or unstable surface to challenge the proprioception.
Today we're going to be demonstrating eccentric throws. This is an exercise that will challenge the coordination of the athlete's shoulder complex within the phase 3 of the rehab. I'm going to have the patient kneel down for me with her normal throwing lead leg forward, since she's a righty, or the subject in the situation is a male, will have the left leg forward. As a clinician, I'll be behind and off to the side so that the patient can see the ball coming towards her. The idea of this is to receive the ball like this, use the musculature of her shoulder to eccentrically catch that, and then turn around and then concentrically throw it back to the clinician. So to demonstrate, go ahead, she'll receive the ball, slow it down, and then pass it back. And we'll go 3 sets of 10 of this, or different types of set ranges, rep ranges. Should this weight be too light and they need more of a challenge, we can progress to a heavier ball of larger size as well. Good. Perfect. And last one. And the main way you're going to regress and progress this exercise is the weight of the object or the size.
Alright, so for the wall dotties, we are focusing on coordination of the shoulder as well as range of motion into abduction. So we want the patient facing the wall, and we're just going to give her this weight right here, and I just want her to do some tosses against the wall with the ball, just slowly making her way up, going into the full range of motion. We want to make sure she does not shrug her shoulders or bend her elbow. That means she's compensating or the ball is too heavy. If this is also too easy for her, we could regress and just do simple wall taps with the ball. And so just placing the ball against the wall dotties, going there. And then if this is also too easy, we're going to progress her to the original exercise. But if the original exercise is too easy as well, we're going to progress to the heavier weight. Again, just making sure she's not compensating by bending her elbow or shrugging her shoulders, and making sure all the stabilizing muscles are engaged.
So for our last exercise, we're going to do the agility ladder, which, as the name suggests, is going to help with your agility. Usually the agility ladder is used with the lower extremity, but today we're going to use it for the shoulders. So what you're going to have your patient do is they're going to start off in a plank position. This specific sequence of movements is starting on the outside of the box. I lied, starting on the inside of the box. And then you're just going to have your patient step side to side all the way to the end of the ladder. Good, keeping their butt down, protracting their shoulders, keeping the core nice and tight. You can go ahead and relax. With this exercise, the ladder will usually be longer, and you'll have them go down and back a couple times just to challenge those shoulder muscles, fatigue them a little bit. There are multiple different types of steps you can do. This one we just started in the box with both hands, just stepping side to side. But you can also start outside of the box and do one hand in, both hands in, and then back out. Go all the way down the ladder, down and back. There's a whole bunch of different things that you can do. You can be really creative with this exercise. And then once you get a hang of that and that becomes too easy, you can increase the weight as well as the instability by having your patient start in a plank